Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision. Before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of this business. It is an Amazon FBA business created in September of 2016 in the equipment niche. The average monthly revenue for the business is $10,731 and makes an average of $2,519 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are an Amazon Seller Central account with 5 SKUs, supplier contacts and relationships, and just as a disclaimer, inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to verified buyers. So for everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 58686 to learn more about this business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So that's a brief overview of the business for sale. Let's hear from the seller with me today. So welcome to the show, Trevor. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you, Nick?
I'm doing well. And I'm looking forward to learning more about you and your business. So to start us off, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yeah, so I started Amazon in late 2015, early 2016. I had a couple good home runs out of the gate, which made it much easier to continue with it. I've sold a bunch of different items. I've had some pretty good flops. I've had products that are not compliant with TO terms of service. So I've definitely thrown some money literally in the garbage can due to lack of due diligence on my end. But then I've done 2 different sales through Empire Flippers of 4 different SKUs and done well on them, and still in contact with one of those buyers, and they're doing quite well still. Yeah, I don't know really what else to say. I've always kind of dabbled with flipping things on Craigslist. I guess now it's really Facebook Marketplace. So, yeah.
Cool. And yeah, we actually worked together on transferring one of the businesses that you sold. So congrats on your 3rd business that you're listing with us. That's pretty awesome.
How much fun was that listing transfer?
Well, the listing transfer was an entertaining migration, though. I will say that for sure.
We had a lot of fun on that one.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, you don't have to get too much into the specifics here, but if you want to talk about why you chose this niche, or just generally what made you decide to go in the direction that you did.
So these products that are on the account that's listed, what's remaining there, it's not really that I went for a particular niche like office or home or baby clothing or anything like that. Is a lot of it was just what I found that would make money, that in the bare bones of it. So there's a couple SKUs here that are more of like an office product. There's some more heavy duty industrial like tools. And then there's some smaller pocket sized tools that are just everyday tools that I use in my 9 to 5. I guess I will add that I run my Amazon business by night, and then I have a refrigeration ticket and I do that during the business hours. So this is kind of like just a side thing that I do, and I've pulled some ideas just through that and just through scouring Amazon and doing product research. So I don't really have a particular niche that I went down. It's just this is the things that I stumbled upon.
Got it. And so this is your 3rd business. So why are you deciding to sell this business now instead of keeping it and growing it?
So I've changed my outlook or business models to be, instead of growing an Amazon business and having 200 different SKUs and managing the whole thing, maybe having a team or whatever growing it that way, I've changed my business model I still do have the 9 to 5 job, and I 100% plan on staying there to just grow some SKUs like I've done with this business, run them for a year or two, and then sell the business to someone else who has the time and drive to grow it to its full potential. Like the boys that I sold my last business to that Nick was involved with, I'm still in touch with them. I'd actually consider us buddies now. And they have basically taken that business, and if they wanted to sell it today, about a year and a half later, they could do a 100% return on it, plus whatever money they've made in that last 18 months or so. I'm good at what I do, which is more so the product research, finding the little holes in the market. Then I get lazy when it comes to really expanding it and thinking of, oh, I should do this variation, or I should make it in green. Or if we made pink rollerblades when we only made black rollerblades to start with, that's where I lack the expertise, we could call it, to really grow things. So that's kind of why I've changed my model to build it, run it, and then just get rid of it, give it to someone who has the expertise to really blow it up.
Yeah, that's a very important distinction I found, that when you're opening or starting an Amazon business, there's a difference between launching and building the business and then operating and growing it and scaling it. Those are two different parts of the business. So yeah, I have heard pretty frequently from sellers saying like, I enjoyed the building of it, but now it's the operations, or in your case, it's the scaling and finding the variations that is just not what you want to do. So yeah, makes sense. Cool. So it's been a few years since you've had this business. Was there anything that you tried with this business that just seemed to work?
The products work because there was enough research done into them and the knowledge of what the products are and where they're used, and then comparing that to what's available out there. Like a couple of the SKUs, they are in a saturated niche, but they're unique enough that we still have been selling since 2017. And I could tell you pretty much within plus or minus 10% how many units we will sell in the following 12 months. It's like a freight train is just so stable that it's super easy to forecast the inventory or the sales. And some other things with a couple of the SKUs, I would never thought that there was any seasonality to them. And by seasonality, it's not like a Christmas gift where it's like, oh, it only sells for 2 months. These SKUs, they sell all year round, but there is unforeseen happy spikes every year.
I like that. Happy spikes.
Yeah.
Nice. So it sounds like just, I don't know, straightforward product research was what really benefited you in this and probably your other 2 successful exits. So was there anything you tried with this business that didn't seem to work?
Again, leaning on the older SKUs that are air quotes generic or saturated markets, I tried to bring some of those into the .ca market, and that just didn't work. I feel that what I learned there is very generic, mundane products don't work as well in the smaller markets like the .ca. And to really stand out, you either had to be on Amazon in 2012 when they just opened up FBA in the first place to have that super long track record. You know, these listings that have 10,000 reviews on it, and it's the most generic thing. You're like, how can a set of pens have 10,000 reviews? Because it's just a pen. But if you stick around long enough, you will get there. So that didn't work with some of the more mundane products, where if you had something more flashy or more unique, like I'm just looking around the room for an example, like if you were into gaming computers and there was a super awesome widget that went with gaming computers, yeah, you could do awesome in any market because that is really desired by a small niche amount of people and they're looking for it, and it's only available from a few people. Whereas the mundane products, everyone and their dog sells pens, for example. Well, not everyone, but
Got it.
you know what I mean.
Yep. Even their dogs sell pens in Canada.
Yeah.
Got it. And just for anybody who is new to Amazon here, so the .ca is, of course, the Canadian marketplace, and just that commodities seem to have a harder time standing out. It seems like there's more of the King of the Hill effect is definitely stronger there, is what I'm hearing.
Well, between the King of the Hill and you just don't have the population up in Canada, right? All of Canada can fit in California.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. You did say that you were selling since 2017, and you also said that you are beyond the build it and the launch phase. So can you describe now the amount and the type of work that you do on this business for maintenance?
The maintenance of this business is very, very easy. So I have all my PPC set up. I got my suppliers all nailed down, and I get an order a product in and get it into Amazon's warehouse. Then I'm really just monitoring some PPC campaigns, tweaking them as needed. At this stage, like, I might look at it once a week because I'm bored more than anything, but they're pretty dialed in. Perhaps someone else can find some other hidden keywords or something that I'm missing, but I haven't found them yet. Really just monitoring sales, monitoring inventory, making orders from overseas as needed, and kind of forecasting if I got 300 units left, how long is that going to last me? Do I need to order now, or should I order it a month ago? Just keeping the logistics going. But like I said, that's pretty easy to do when you got the sales history to know how much is going to sell in the next 3 months.
Got it. So inventory maintenance and light PPC campaign reviewing, if maybe some management even. Any heavy customer support, or is that pretty light as well?
It's pretty light because it's like we're dealing with fulfillment by Amazon, so they really take care of everything. I'll check my listings every day. I got a Amazon list on my Amazon buying app where everything is in one spot, and I just click on my list and see if I got a new review or not. And if I got one, I check. Was it good? Was it bad? There's nothing you can really do about them anymore anyways, but just keep tabs on what's going on. Maybe check your main keywords to see if any competitors may or may not have popped up since you last looked. Yeah, it's mostly TV work because you can do it while you're watching TV.
Nice. Happy spikes and TV work. I'm building my vocabulary. Okay, so if you were to keep the business, what are some ways that you would try to grow it?
One thing I know with one of the leading SKUs here, originally I was happy with a $30 sale price, and I wasn't even considering it to be really a loser, air quotes, until we broke below $22 for a sale price. Since I launched it, and it kind of, again, took me by surprise on the sales volume, I have bumped that up to now I'm selling it at 45. So I'm $15 over where I was like, yeah, this will be good at 30, but now I'm at 45. And I think it could go to 50, and it might even go higher than that without seeing any decline in volume. So that's an instant one, add $5 to the sale price. Then we got the whole inflation thing going on in the world, and with COVID and whatnot, and the truckers going on strike in Canada, sort of on strike. They're storming our capital right now. I think the general consensus or knowledge is that everything is going to go up in price. So every other SKU, I could legitimately say you could probably bump it a 10% bump and it wouldn't affect anything.
Got it.
Aside from that, then you dive into variations, looking at what these products are. I have some ideas for one of the products that I would give to a buyer that I've seen out there. It's just a small variation. It would cost nothing probably to make the change. And boom, you got a whole nother SKU right there to make you more money.
Nice. So just increase the price, and that's very slight variations to expand the product line. Cool. And of course, with any opportunity comes risks. So what do you think are the biggest risks associated with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
So the biggest risk with everything on Amazon is that I'm out there, I'm looking for products. The next guy is out there, he's looking for products. You got people on Empire Flippers, they're obviously looking for products as buyers. So the competition of Amazon, it's real. It's out there. You just got to be ahead of everyone else and find something that is unique enough, that is hard to find by the other sellers. Like, it's great if you can sell 1,000 units a day, but if you're selling 1,000 units a day and you're the only guy selling whatever that product is, you can guarantee within 3 months there's going to be about 30 new sellers selling that exact same product, and they're going to be just undercutting you. So with my products, they're not super high volume per month sellers, but they're freight trains. And some of them are in, like I said, air quotes, saturated niches, and they have multiple years of sales history to be like, yeah, we're just running with the pack and the pack isn't stopping, but we're in it.
Got it. And by freight train, again, you mean just that consistent?
Yeah, just consistent month after month. I know I'm going to sell 200 of these regardless of what happens in the world. And regardless if 20 other people start selling the same thing, like, we're all moving together.
Cool. Okay, so a few housekeeping questions to wrap this up. How much support are you willing to offer buyers?
I'll do the standard 30 days, a few emails, a few phone calls, of course. And if it comes a couple months down the line, maybe a buyer is having some issues dealing with a supplier, loses his contact list and his phone blows up or something, and he need to get a hold of me, like, that's no big deal. I'm pretty easygoing with that, and I'm definitely willing to help. If anyone has any problems with PPC campaigns, like anything to make sure that the buyer gets everything going the way it's supposed to be going, especially if they are new to Amazon and just aren't 100% familiar with everything, I'll definitely take a call even 6 months out. Whereas if it was 2 years down the line and something happens, yeah, well, I'd kind of draw a line somewhere, right?
Yep, that makes sense. Okay, sounds good. Also, would you commit to a non-compete on this business?
Yes, 100%.
Great. And are you open to something like an earnout?
So an earnout, with the price of the business right now, I don't think an earnout is really justified. But at the same time, if someone's a little bit short on cash to do a cash deal, I would definitely entertain it, at least hear someone out about it.
Okay, great. And last two questions here. So putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
I'll go back to the freight train example of some of the SKUs have been around since 2017, and they just keep on chugging along, making sales every day, every month, year after year. All the products have decent margins on them. Like, I think the worst product still does 100%. So if you spend $1, you're getting $2 back. There's little to no negative reviews on any of the listings. They're eventually going to come. Everyone gets them. The 1-star guy who bought a toilet but didn't know how to use the toilet.
Yeah.
Those are out there. All the products are evergreen products. Like, they're not seasonal. They're not just they only sell in summer or they only sell at Christmas. There's nothing like that in this business. Since Empire Flipper has actually kind of changed how they do things a little bit with the smaller listings. They used to do listing transfers. I don't know who's all familiar with this, where you could just separate one SKU out of your Amazon catalog and sell that one SKU, which is what I've done in the past. And then you transfer the ownership of that one SKU to the buyer to put into their own Amazon seller account. So you guys have kind of strayed away from that on the smaller listings. So right now, a couple of the SKUs that are included here, I normally wouldn't sell them yet, just because I don't have as much track record on them over the 1-2 years, like I had said earlier. So they're a little bit younger. And with those younger SKUs, honestly, the business is like on sale. It's for sale, obviously, but it's like it's for sale, but it's on sale, because some of these SKUs that put out some pretty good numbers are not fully factored in to the average profit price, because there's some months where I was out of stock or they weren't part of the SKU list to begin with, and in the earlier months of the product pricing period. Is that what it is, Nick?
The earlier months of the pricing. Oh, yeah, right. Yep, that's accurate.
Yeah.
So just when they were part of the valuation.
Yeah, they're part of it, but they didn't exist yet. So now we're coming to the end of January here, and I know what my numbers are in January. And once we add those numbers into the profit and loss statement, it's actually going to bump up that $2,500 monthly profit number. It's probably a rough guess. It's probably going to bump that to $2,700 just by having a really solid January month. And when we reevaluate here come February, there's a good chance that the listing price is going to be going up. Now, if we don't sell all the way through February, which I doubt, we're going to have all of February again to bump those numbers up, and it'll be even higher in March. But I don't really anticipate this business not selling before March.
Yeah, that's a compelling reason to be time sensitive on this one.
I guess that is another thing. Like, it's January, and we're going to basically replicate December's numbers. So that just goes to show you that I'm not selling anything that's really gifty or seasonal. Because if you can sell in January, December numbers, you got something pretty decent.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point. Cool. So last question. Is there anything that you'd like to add that you think I might have missed during the interview?
I don't really think so. I got some jot notes here. Just breeze through them, but I think we kind of covered it. Just give me a second.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's for the most part about it. The only other thing I could really add is I'm looking at building a house with COVID prices. So that's kind of another influencer to sell the business now.
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by that?
Everything since COVID down to 2x4s has went up in price substantially.
Got it.
We are looking at building a new house, and we got a nice little reminder of that when we first started talking with our builder. And then a few months later, he's like, yeah, so I reran the numbers with the air quotes COVID prices, and it was a nice increase that we didn't foresee.
Got it. Meaning the increase will likely happen to these products as well.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, cool. Well, I think we covered quite a bit of ground. So I think this is the perfect spot to wrap this up. So Trevor, thanks so much for sharing your story and joining us on today's episode. And yeah, I hope your business is purchased in the near future and by the right buyer.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time to do a call with me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 58686. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you unlock this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.